friends. Good evening. How are you? Drop a message in the chat. Let me know that you're with me today. I'm so excited to have you all here, and I'm so sorry that it's your last day of spring break. I hate that. But the good news is that means that you are just a little bit closer to your summer break. And I always feel like April and May absolutely fly by. So that's the good news. We are going to talk about Jesus and the temple today. So I know that you all now know the story of Jesus coming into Jerusalem very well because we covered it on Wednesday. And if you were in Sunday school today, I know that you talked about that again. So I know that you are experts and are going to be ready for Palm Sunday in 2 weeks, and we'll know exactly what's going on as we gather for worship on Palm Sunday. Hey, Chris, I'm so happy you're here. And yes, I want more spring break too, Rachel and Joel. So we are going today. So Jesus has come into Jerusalem, and the people have waved and been excited that he is there. And today's story is going to talk about what happens next. Now, I want you to remember that Jesus is coming to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover. And Passover was a celebration that the Jewish people celebrated every single year. And it was required for boys 12 and older. Once you were 12, you were considered a man. And they had to go do this. So this was not something that you just did if you felt like it. This was a journey you would make every year to celebrate Passover. So Jesus has made this trip into Jerusalem many times. And we talked about that he first made the trip into Jerusalem for Passover when he was just a little infant, and he goes to the temple where it wasn't Passover when he was an infant, but he went to this temple. And Simon and Anna praised him and knew that he was a special baby right away. And then we do see on Passover when he is 12, Jesus goes into the temple and gets left behind. So you know that story where his parents don't know where he is, and he stayed at the temple. So this is yet another time that Jesus is going to Jerusalem for this Passover event, and he's going to go to the temple. And we've talked about a little bit what that trip to Jerusalem for Passover would be like. Have you been with your parents going anywhere where there's just been a mass of people and it's kind of crazy and you have to stay together, and maybe you make a plan? If we get separated, we'll meet back here. That's kind of what I imagine this time being, that there was just an influx, lots and lots of people gathered in Jerusalem at this time. Now, one thing that the people had to do was they had to pay half of a shekel when they got to the temple as a tax to get in, and foreign money wouldn't be allowed. So they would have to use the money that the people there in Jerusalem used. So if you came in with there wasn't in America then, but if you came in with your coin from wherever you lived, it wouldn't be accepted. You would have to go change that coin to get it to be turned into the type of coin that they used in Jerusalem. So say you came in with your money from the children's Christmas market, your gold coin, they would be like, yeah, we're not taking that gold coin, even though you worked really hard and earned it. You can give us the gold coin and we'll exchange it for the money that we use here. They also had to bring, when they went to the temple, an animal to sacrifice. And some of them had been traveling a long way. So they would have either had to have traveled with a live animal and then killed it there to sacrifice it, or brought a dead animal to sacrifice, or they would have to buy an animal once they got there. So that was another part of their tradition when they would go to the temple for Passover. Okay. Now, in this story, we're going to see that Jesus finds some problems with the way this festival and the way the temple is going down. Now I'm on page 250. This story is in all 4 of the books in the gospel: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They all tell this story. And we're going to read Jesus in the temple. Jesus went into the temple in Jerusalem. Instead of looking like a house of worship, it looked like a busy marketplace. The courtyard was filled with people buying and selling things. There were people selling doves to present as an offering. There were people exchanging Roman coins for Jewish coins that could be used in the temple. This made Jesus angry. He walked to where the money changers were working, and he threw their tables onto the ground. He did the same thing with the seats the people were selling doves. Then he told all the merchants to leave and to stop carrying their things through the temple. Jesus said, "Do you remember what the prophets have said? My house is a house of prayer for everyone, but you have made it a den of robbers." What do you think that means? Have you ever heard your parents say that's highway robbery? Or maybe when you go to like an airport and you buy a bottle of water and it's like $5 and they say that's just robbery. They're robbing us with this price. That's kind of what Jesus was seeing going on here. He was seeing that this it wasn't fair, and he felt like people were taking advantage of the fact that all these people had gathered and they were going to try to profit, make money off the people that had come there to worship God. Every day after that, Jesus came to the temple and taught. Many people came to hear him and listened carefully to every word he said. The temple leaders were very unhappy about this. They did not like what Jesus was teaching, and they were afraid of how popular he was with the crowds. They were so angry and afraid that they wished Jesus was dead. And this is where things start to go differently this week when he's in the temple, and people start to turn on Jesus, and they're looking for a way to find fault in him so that they can charge him with a crime. And this is kind of a turning point when Jesus comes into the temple. You know, have you ever had like your brother or sister tell you to do something and you're like, you're not the boss of me. If mom or dad says it, fine, but who are you to tell me what to do? Even if you know what they're saying to do is probably right. I remember that a lot with my older sister because she was always doing exactly what she was supposed to do. And she would often tell me what I should be doing. And even though I knew she was right, sometimes I thought, oh, you're not my mom. If my mom or dad tells me, fine, but I'm not going to listen to you. I think that when Jesus came into this temple, I wonder if some people thought, who are you to tell us what to do? Remember, they don't maybe know how important Jesus is at the time. And especially if the priests and the people that were there at the temple, they were like, wait a minute, we're making money. We kind of like what's happening here. Don't tell us that we can't do what we were doing before. So, okay, so the people, it wasn't too, I think that, here, Liv, we'll look at the picture. Now this is where Jesus is at, and he's overturned the tables and he's poured out the coins. But he said, this is supposed to be a place of worship. And you've turned it into a loud marketplace. There's loud animals in here, and it's stinky and smelly. And I bet it was messy if there were animals in there. And they're changing the coins, and they might say, okay, you have a coin that's worth 5. Give me that coin and I will give you one that's worth 2 or 3, so that they would make money off of each coin that they were exchanging, which wasn't fair. And Jesus didn't like that. Okay, so we're going to do a little activity here. We're going to do 2 activities. The first one is this. I'm going to draw a line. And above it, we're going to put respect. And below it, we're going to put disrespect. Disrespect. I couldn't spell it for a second. Okay, now the first scenario we're going to do is we're going to talk about when a friend is coming over to your house. So you're going to pretend that a friend is coming to your house to play. And we're going to talk about some things that might happen. And we're going to talk about if we think it's respectful or disrespectful. Okay. So the friend knocks on the door and waits until the door is opened and quietly comes inside and wipes their feet on the mat. Pretty nice, right? Respectful. Give your adult a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Now there's another friend with him, and this friend comes in very loudly and is like, I'm here, and runs in the house and walks in with muddy feet. Thumbs up or thumbs down on our respect disrespect line? Disrespectful. Now, the guest says, thank you so much for having me to your house. Respectful. That's a nice thing to say. What if the guests were to shout and yell and be rowdy, jump on furniture? Pierce Eberhart, ever jump on furniture? Disrespectful. What about if the person that comes to your house listens to the rules that your parents have and just kind of joins your family? If you only eat in the kitchen, they only eat in the kitchen. Or maybe they ask, are there any rules? Do you have any family rules that I need to know about while I'm a guest in your home? Oh, that would be very respectful. What about if a friend says, I'm hungry? Ooh, I don't like that food. What else do you have? Ooh, gross. I don't want that, but I'm hungry. Okay, hold on one second. Blocking somebody that's being inappropriate in our chat. Give me just a second. Okay, thank you. Disrespectful. Somebody jumping in your group chat and being disrespectful. Disrespectful. Okay, what about somebody that invites you back to their house? Since we played at your house this time, next time we'll play at my house. Respectful. Very nice. Now, so you can see this respect line, we're kind of up and down. And what we want to think about is trying to, no one's ever going to be respectful all the time, but trying to keep our respectfulness up above the line. And a lot of times we think about that. I know that your parents, when they send you to a friend's house to play, probably say, before you go, please use your manners. Please do what you're supposed to do. They want you to be proud of how you behave. Well, when we go into a church, a lot of the things that we do at church are probably kind of go back to this story about how Jesus felt when he walked into the temple. We want what we do in our church to be pleasing to God. If Jesus were to show up at Bethlehem United Church of Christ next Sunday, I would want him to walk in and be so happy with what we were doing, right? We would want him to think, wow, you guys are doing everything above the respect line. We'd want to get an A+ for making what we do at our church please God. So what are some things can you think of things that maybe he wouldn't like or that we do that he would like? You can talk to your adult about that. One thing I want you to notice when you're at church is that we rarely ever have anything for sale. And if it is for sale, it's because we're doing it for a mission. We're not trying to make money for ourselves. We're doing a bake sale to raise money for a cause. And I think sometimes we forget that because we talk about money at church a lot, right? We talk about our budgets and we ask for money if you want to make a donation to this, or if you want to buy a pie from this group, or if you want to, we talk about money. But if you'll look closely, you'll see that we don't sell t-shirts in the lobby with our logo on them. And we don't do a money exchange and say, here at Bethlehem, we would prefer if you only give us quarters. So if you only have pennies or you only have dollars, that's fine. We'll take your dollar and we'll give you a quarter. And then you can use the quarter to make your contribution to our church or however, that we don't do things like that. So kind of pay attention to that and notice that when you're in our church, it's a house of worship. And a lot of the things we do are to show respect for God. It's the reason that we don't eat or drink in the sanctuary. It's the reason that your mom or dad might say, take your feet off of the pew if they see you putting your feet up on the bench in front of you. Even when we're in our Sunday school rooms, we should be even extra thoughtful about staying above that respect line. Are the words that we say and do up here on the respect line where we would be proud if Jesus walked in and saw our Sunday school classes or saw us in worship, would he be proud of how that we were acting? So I want you all to carry those things with you this week. And I want to say a prayer for you tonight as you head back into your week. I hope that you all have had an amazing week off. I know I've loved having my kiddos home, and I hate to see them go back to school. But we've got to, and it's going to be just a few short months until summer. And I am racking my brain thinking of fun things to do with you guys this summer. And if you have any suggestions or things that you would like to see this summer, let me know. I've got some ideas, but we can, I'm open to suggestions too, if there's something that you would like to see or like to do. Okay. If you have a prayer request or anything that you want to tell me about, you can shoot me a chat or send me an email. I have not forgotten our teacher versus students quiz. I promise we'll get back to those. And we're also going to do a game night at the end of our, probably in May, to kind of celebrate the end of this and show off all of the stuff you have learned from your Sunday school lessons thus far. Okay. All right. Let's have a quick prayer. Dear Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity to gather with these children. I hope that the things that we do and say in our Bible study and when we're at church are pleasing to you. Dear Lord, watch over these kiddos as they go back to school next week. It's so hard to get up in the morning, the day after spring break, and it's hard to get back in the routine and be with them and just help that to be an easy transition for them. Let them know that their friends at church are thinking about them and loving them, and just hoping that they feel your presence with them as they go through their days. Dear Lord, it's in your name that we pray. Amen. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It was fun to be with you, and I'll see you next time.